folks, we're gonna go ahead and start. My name is Doug Neely. I'm the mayor of Oregon City, and I'm gonna introduce various elected officials that are here, and I'm going to miss some in the process. I know that, but I would like to start with our city commissioners. I know that Kathy Roth and Betty Mum are here. Can you wave wherever you are? There's Betty, and I don't see Kathy, but I know she's here. Okay, there. Stand up. We also have some of our Urban Renewal Commission members here. This is in an Urban Renewal District, and I think Brian Shaw showed up. Did I see Brian? I saw also, I think, Paul Edgar. There's Paul. And Graham Peterson. And is there anybody else on the Urban Renewal Commission that's here? We also have one of our previous members, Don Slack, is here as well. In addition, I'd like to introduce is State Senator Alan Olson here? There you are. There he is, right over there. Thank you. And we have our state representative from this district here, Bill Kinnemer. He's going to be speaking a little bit later, and we have several of our metro. Well, we got one of our Metro Council members who's also going to be speaking later, Carlotta Collette, and. Do you know if there are any other Metro Councilor? Okay. I noticed that we had several of our county commissioner members. In fact, I think we have them all. And, I had these name lapses and so forth. I was trying to think this morning and make sure I got all the county commissioners right, and they are all here. Jim Bernard, Commissioner Lahan is here, Commissioner Leininger is here, and also Commissioner Savas is here. And I kept on going through my list, and I couldn't think of the name of the 5th county commissioner. then it occurred to me there wasn't one, so that was okay. We have here representing Kurt Schrader, Allison Craig. Where are you? Oh, you're up here. She's going to speak. In any case, we also have Ron White's representative, David Blair. And we have numerous people from our adjacent cities. I noticed Wade Byer from our adjacent city of Gladstone. Our mayor is here. We all. I don't know if there are any mayors here, but we also have several representatives of our neighborhood association. We have also the president and the secretary from our Citizen Involvement Council here. That is an umbrella group for our neighborhood associations. We have representatives also from the board of the Hamlet of Beaver Creek, as well as from various other places. And is there any other elected officials that I'm missing? If there is, don't be shy to raise your hand. Well, thank you very much. We want to express our appreciation to all of you for turning out today. We've got this tremendous effort on the part of public and private partnerships that we have here. In terms of the public partnerships, the state of Oregon and the Oregon Department of Transportation, the Metro Regional Government, the Federal Highway Administration, and Clackamas County are among the various public entities, including the city, of course, that have got this project going. We've had a lot of private contributions as well. They include Center Cal Properties. They did a lot of the initial engineering of this project. Stein Oil, Union Pacific Railroad, Home Depot, and various nearby businesses and so forth were stakeholders that were able to get this project underway. The Oregon Legislature in 2009 formed the Jobs and Transportation Act, and monies from this act were the ones that, in fact, were part of them identified for this project. We're going to have speakers here. They're going to address the contributions that various members of the legislature made to make this happen. and is a tremendous opportunity for us, not only in terms of our transportation, but in terms of the fact that we are going to have several people employed here full-time during this 2-year project. We're extremely appreciative for all the contributions that are made. We're going to really start our ceremony here by having Carly Lewis sing the national anthem. And please don't come up, Carly. Thank you.
Just a note to all of you, there's plenty of seats underneath the tent, and there's also plenty of room underneath the tent. If anybody wants to move on in, please feel free to do so. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the lands of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you very much, Carly. What we're going to do right now is welcome. We originally, Dave Hunt. Yeah, Dave Hunt has arrived, and originally we had thought the governor was going to be able to speak, but he wasn't able to make it. He's really wrestling, trying to get the budget going through and so forth. But he sent his number one advisor on transportation issues, our former chair of our county commission, Lynn Peterson, to represent him. And I believe, are you going to make a speech, Lynn? Anyway, when I heard this, I actually was at the a chamber event Wednesday morning, and I said that's great because she's a lot better looking than the governor is anyway. And I had about half of the women in the group disagree with me. But in any case, I still think I'm right. Lynn, can you please come?
Well, thank you, and it's great to be back. 2 months does seem not like a long time to be away from you guys, but we've been working on a lot of very good projects, and this being one of them, and I'm so excited to come back and help you celebrate. I want to thank Nancy Krushauer and Mayor Neely for all of the work that they have put into this, and thank them for all the work that they put into working with the county on this project as well. It's an honor to be here, to be a part of the kickoff. The big part of the state's involvement in this, as we talk through this, is the Jobs and Transportation Act. And it was passed by the legislature in 2009, and we have a lot of legislators here who really helped push that through, including Representative Hunt. The package is actually the greenest package in Oregon's history, with sustainability being a key component, and this being one of those. And I say that because the state only has limited funds, and this limited pot of money that we were delivered with 2 great projects in Clackamas County through the Jobs and Transportation Act. With limited dollars, we were able to maximize the investment to get jobs and economic development, and that's why this project is so important. Is that it really showed how we can be coordinated across the state agencies, but also in partnership with our local cities to make sure that we can maximize the economic development so we can get jobs back on the ground. And the Jobs and Transportation Act, as it stands today, will be providing over 40,000 jobs over a 10-year period in construction. That's a great way to help keep Oregon working through a very tough time. So today we celebrate the delivery on a promise of the Jobs and Transportation Act, putting Oregonians back to work and rebuilding our economy. And through the Governor's Office and the Oregon Department of Transportation, I know that we will continue that coordination with the local cities and counties as we move forward. And I appreciate you moving this type of project forward in the most innovative way possible so that we can use you as a demonstration project. Thanks.
Thank you. This is a great project. It's really going to almost make an expressway all the way from 205 up to the top of the hill in the Berry Hill area. We'll still have one signalized intersection, but it's going to greatly relieve the congestion and increase the capacity of our system. It not only has the tremendous potential of creating a gateway into our a better gateway into our Main Street corridor, it's also going to serve several of the concept plans that we have for the Park Place area, which is over here to our left, the Beaver Creek area, an area around the Clackamas Community College where we've identified lands as job creation lands, we regard this as a great opportunity to break down barriers that exist here and create smart growth opportunities, looking for development in some of our brownfield areas and get benefit to our Main Street program in the process. The Oregon City Regional Center, and this is part of extending the downtown area, but this whole area is also part of the regional center. The development of this center has been a very important growth component in terms of Portland's Metro 2040 program. And it's just going to provide so much opportunity, not only in terms of jobs on the project, but jobs in the future. I'd like to go ahead and start introducing our speakers, and I'm going to just take a moment for the first speaker. When you get a project like this going, the leadership of the city is extremely important. And our former mayor, Alice Norris, really worked very hard with the legislators and so forth to get this project going, and she deserves a great deal of the credit in having this as a successful project. So I'd like Alice Norris to come up and say some words.
What a great day. I love groundbreaking ceremonies because they celebrate beginnings. They celebrate success and positive change. But groundbreakings also celebrate years of hard work, of intense preparation, of lobbying for funding, plus minor doses of periodic discouragement. When the city began looking to develop the landfill area in 2002, we became painfully familiar with the transportation planning rule. We knew that ODOT would not permit us to develop any land uses in this area that would worsen the performance of the I-205 intersection. Since our economic development strategy included major job generators here and developments that would seriously impact I-205, we knew we had a problem. When we were successful in recruiting the Rivers, we began a focused search for money. Former Congresswoman Darlene Hooley was our first champion. She gave us our very first funding for the troublesome I-205-213 interchange back in 2006. She was our first believer, and because it was outside the JPACT regional process, it caused our project to be taken seriously. Oregon City became a player. Thank you, former Congresswoman Darlene Hooley. And then working with Clackamas County, Nancy Krashauer and I moved the Jughandle onto the JPACT agenda as a Clackamas County priority. Thank you, Clackamas County, especially former Chair Lynn Peterson, our current Chair Charlotte Lehan, and Commissioner Jim Bernard. With strong-willed unity from all of us in Clackamas County, the region added it to the regional transportation agenda. Next stop, the legislature. The Jughandle was our #1 transportation priority for at least 2 legislative sessions. I was working the members. Nancy Crashow and her staff were working ODOT to approve it, design it, and work out the many wrinkles. It's a very complex project. During one memorable city commission meeting back in 2008, a representative of Kittleson used his finger on a map to painstakingly demonstrate how the traffic flows would work under this creative and collaborative solution. I think it took 3 revolutions before we understood it. Now, I don't know who came up with the name Jughandle, but it was really a wonderful moniker. Jughandle was easy for a legislator to remember. Nancy Kay and staff stayed at the old City Hall very late one night to create colorful and visual information for me to leave with the legislators the next day, first of my many visits to Salem. I made personal calls to each of our 6 Clackamas County legislators until they could spell Jughandle, say Jughandle, and describe a Jughandle. I also lobbied our federal delegation here and in Washington, D.C. on 2 JPAC trips. I met with then Governor Kulongoski and his staff, Ray Knapp and Mark Ellsworth. No real bites. Then, late in the 2009 session, I received a call from then House Speaker Dave Hunt, telling me he was determined to put money for the Jughandle in House Bill 2001 that Mayor Neely mentioned, the Oregon Jobs and Transportation Act, which he did, with a price tag of $32 million. Then, very late one night, he called again to say we weren't going to get $32 million. He needed to shave a bunch of money out of the entire package. So he asked me, what absolute, firm, minimal dollar figure could Oregon City work with? And he needed to know right now. Now, this is the only call that I ever had to make on my own when I was mayor. Dave asked me if $20 million was the right number, and he needed confirmation immediately. I knew that was too low, so I grabbed at $22 million and prayed that Nancy Kay wouldn't kill me. So I called her up immediately, because of course she was still up at 11 p.m., and she said we could live with that number. So this was in the final 2 days of the legislative session. When Speaker Hunt called to tell me it had passed, I believe I was the happiest mayor in the entire world. That $22 million is Oregon City's largest financial award that we have ever received. So, thank you to State Representative Dave Hunt and particularly former State Senator Martha Schrader, who are 2 true champions. They really got the connection between completing the Jughandle and Oregon City's economic future. But wait, there's more. Besides the layers of political intrigue, there also lie layers of history here, and I was asked to kind of talk about that. The first layer brings us to this extensive grass-covered area, but not here, underneath, probably created by periodic burning, and a wetland or marsh area filled with frogs, ducks, geese, and seasonal waterfowl. In historic times, this area, most of it, was below the elevation of the 100-year floodplain, and at least as early as 1996, we know that some of it still is. For more than 12,000 years, American Indians hunted, fished, and gathered nature's bounty in this area, living in harmony with Mother Earth. They were the Clackamas and the Cliawalla, Tualatin, Kalapuyan, and Molalla. Living in cedar and bark lodges, they gathered along the rivers to catch salmon, sturgeon, and eels. Then along came the Canadians, Russians, Euro-Americans to disrupt this peaceful existence. They came in trickles at first, mountain men seeking furs and adventure, ship captains, explorers, Dr. John McLaughlin, who would make his final home here in Oregon City and then be named Father of Oregon. Then in the early 1840s, waves of optimistic immigrants endured hardship over 2,000 miles of the Oregon Trail to reach this place, Eden's Gate, a place said to be, so lush you didn't need barns for your animals, and so many fish you could walk across the streams on the backs of salmon. They came here to Abernathy Green, circled their wagons, sent the women off to the creek to wash their clothes and clean up, while the men walked into town to register their land claims and pick up news of relatives and friends. As we all know, Oregon City played a central role in the development of Oregon and its government, industries, and institutions. Well, in fact, the first governor of Oregon lived right over there. George and Ann Abernathy's home was destroyed by a flood in 1861. So we call this place Abernathy Green after this pioneering and merchant family. In the next layer of history, this place fell on hard times. In about 1960, the marshy lowlands began to be filled with garbage, and Abernathy Green became a solution to one of the region's problems. While in operation, the big landfill here, I guess we're standing on it, aren't we? Wassman's provided disposal of approximately 60% of the commercial and residential non-hazardous waste for the Portland metro area. The landfill covers approximately 100 acres and contains 3 million tons of refuse. Next, the I-205 was constructed in 1987. As early as 1981, local leaders began talking about a major facility here to commemorate the Oregon Trail story. And in 1990, a group of visionaries summoned this place, completed the master plan for the end of the Oregon Trail Interpretive Center. After all, historian Terrence O'Donnell said, Oregon City is the single most important historical site in the American West. This new multifaceted center was projected to cost $46.5 million, and that's more than the Jughandle cost. Although smaller and much less expensive than envisioned, the center opened to great hoopla and great expectation in 1993. The 3 giant covered wagons just back over there became a well-recognized icon, and visitors flocked to this place to learn how those early pioneers packed all their belongings into a little wagon 10 feet by 3 feet wide. It became Oregon City's biggest visitor attraction. So I was asked to give the history of this place so you understand the importance of it, I think, to our community. So here we are today with unfinished business in a place rich with possibility, the possibility of the rivers in the cove, the possibility of revitalization of the end of the Oregon Trail Interpretive Center, the possibility of revitalization of Oregon City itself. These possibilities are made plausible with this project, the Jughandle. So my biggest thank you is to Nancy Krashauer, without whom we would not have this project. She helped to envision it, to plan it. She sold it to us and to the citizens of Oregon City, lobbied ODOT for it. And you know that ain't easy. Sorry, Jason. But it's true. No one will ever know or appreciate how much Nancy did for us and for the city to get this project. So she is my hero. Will you please join me in giving her a big round of applause? I need to mention Larry Patterson, our former city manager and chief architect of that economic development strategy which drove this. And again, our legislators, Representative Dave Hunt, Senator Martha Schrader, Governor Kulongoski's office, the county commissioners, former Congresswoman Darlene Hooley, and former city commissioners who had the courage to step up to this. Commissioners Trent Tidwell, Damon Mabee, Daphne West, and our tenacious mayor, Doug Neely. So I say congratulations to all of us, to Oregon City, and sincere appreciation to our many partners, supporters, and advocates. I'm very proud to be celebrating with you today.
I wanted to give an individual introduction to our former mayor, one of my real heroines. I guess I have to use hero, though, right, to be genderless. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and introduce the rest of the speakers now, and one will follow the other. But we're going to have next David Hunt, after him Bill Kennemer, Carlotta Collette, I pronounced it right this time, and then representing the Oregon Transportation Commission, Mary Olson. Jason Tell is a Oregon Department of Transportation Region 1 manager, and we have Allison Craig, who's representative U.S. Congressman Kurt Schrader, followed by our other heroine, Nancy Krashauer.
Well, it's a great pleasure to be here. I think Mayor Norris is right. A lot of times on these groundbreakings, they occur so long after the work has been done on projects. So it's great to actually be able to participate in groundbreakings occasionally on things that we've been involved with. if you look at the Jobs and Transportation Act that we passed in 2009, it really is both. I mean, a lot of people just see it as a transportation, but it really, from the beginning and now and ongoing, is really about both. It is about jobs and transportation. Projects like this across our county and across our state are going to create thousands, tens of thousands of great family wage jobs short term. They're going to create access to economic development and jobs that are going to be ongoing and permanent. So it really is about both. It's also going to relieve congestion and increase access from a transportation perspective. But I want to give a little bit of history, not nearly as far back as Mayor Norris went. But if you look at the history of the legislature trying to pass transportation packages, it's not a particularly good history. It's a very troubled history because every time you end up with a potential transportation package, you end up drawing fire from both sides of the political spectrum. You draw fire from the left, from people who don't want to build anything, who don't want to do anything new. You draw fire from the right of people who don't want to pay for anything, any new taxes or fees that you need to actually pay for things. So every time, you can just see it repeated session after session after session, and in far too many sessions, most legislative sessions, the end result is no transportation package. That was not true in 2009. It was true that we drew fire from both ends of the political spectrum, and in fact, if you look at the vote, you'll see votes we lost off the far left and off the far right for two completely different sets of reasons. But fortunately, we were able to hold things together because we really put a package together that has not only really good projects like the Sunrise Corridor, like the Jughandle, and like strategic other investments across our state, but also a major reinvestment in our counties, in our cities, in dollars that are just half of that project is dollars that just go straight to counties and cities. Mayor Wade Byers, who, when I first ran for the legislature, all he said was, "Don't give us any more unfunded mandates." Is that right, Mayor? That was his one request. And as I like to point out to him, and I point out to the Oregon City Commissioners as well, and the county commissioners, this is a funded non-mandate. We give you money to spend on whatever transportation projects you want to spend it on. Half the package goes to that. That's all about improving transportation systems, about producing jobs. But the other half is going to projects really of greater statewide significance, like the Jughandle, like the Sunrise Corridor. Now, I would disagree with Alice on one point. The term the Jughandle was not helpful in this process. Because every time, and I'm still trying to figure out, everybody seems to point to somebody else in terms of who's to blame for that name. Nancy, I think at the end of the day, you're probably going to bear the blame for it, fairly or not. But every time we would have these weekly, and they got more frequent than weekly sessions of the negotiating team around the transportation package in my office all throughout the 2009 session. And every time I bring up the Sunrise Corridor, people would say, "Oh yeah, the Sunrise Corridor, yeah, the Sunrise Corridor." And then I bring up the Jughandle, and people say, "The Jughandle? Is that really a transportation project, or are you just trying to slide something in here that has nothing to do with transportation?" So the term was not helpful, but the vision here in this community that Mayor Norris and Nancy and the City Commission and other leaders set forth, the business community set forth, was very clear that this is a key access point to jobs and infrastructure to improve this community and really to create jobs that are going to go far beyond Oregon City for a long period of time. So the term was terrible, but the vision was great, and it was the vision that we were able to insert along with that $22 million into the package. And since some of the folks who cast, and the votes on this was really a difficult vote because you had groups on the far left opposing it, you had groups on the far right opposing it. So I just really want to pay tribute to the bipartisan group of legislators that stepped up. And I'm just going to read the ones representing parts of Clackamas County because they really delivered the key votes to make this happen. So from the House, Representatives Brent Barton, Scott Brune, Chris Garrett, Mike Schaffler, Carolyn Tomei, Suzanne Van Orman. And from the Senate, Senators Larry George, Martha Schrader, Diane Rosenbaum, Rod Monroe, and Rick Metzger, who chaired the Senate Transportation Committee. Those legislators from Clackamas County delivered. I mean, those were the decisive votes that enabled us to get the supermajority and be able to pass this. And unfortunately, many of them are not here because some of them have retired. Several of them have retired from the legislature and are not here. But it really is a great opportunity for us as we look ahead to other big projects that are coming. Transportation projects, economic development projects. There are hard decisions ahead to be made. And I think it's really important for us as we break ground and get moving on this one to continue to look ahead to what are the next infrastructure investments we need to make, transportation or otherwise. What are the next tough decisions we need to make? Knowing that we may need to say no to the far left and the far right of the political spectrum and focus on the center, focus on moving Oregon forward and getting things done and improving jobs and transportation, not just in Oregon City, but throughout our great state. Thanks for your support. Thanks for your partnership in getting this done.
It's great to be with you, and what a good occasion this is. You know, it's interesting, my real specific relationship with Oregon City goes back to 1986 when I was elected to the state senate, and among the cities and areas I represented was Oregon City. And I remember what a great improvement it was to see 205 come in. I hadn't really helped on that, but we expanded 213, and it was exciting to also work on a project to have Oregon City named the end of the Oregon Trail, and the Trails in the Highway was quite an achievement because you see Baker City thought they should have that, the Dalles thought they should have that, and Astoria thought they should have it. But I think it's fitting that we brought it to Clackamas County and to Oregon City. It's a great day. I think we're going to see lots of new things happen. Economic development is is created most by roads and transportation. And this is the opportunity that's going to bring new opportunity here. As was pointed out, I didn't vote for this one. And that was made pretty obvious. And I thought maybe I should just be straightforward about it. Why didn't I? Because you see, in '89, I voted for the transportation funding package when I was in the Senate. And in '93. And you know why I didn't? It's because both times I was promised that we would build the Sunrise Corridor for Clackamas County. And both times it wasn't done. So this time I thought it was time to make a vote and a statement about accountability. And I'm glad to see the promises that were made are being kept. God bless you. Let's have some new economic development for the new pioneers coming to Oregon City.
Well, I'm also very excited and proud to be here, both in my role as a Metro Councilor, but also, since there's nobody on the agenda speaking on behalf of Clackamas Community College, I get to speak as a board member of Clackamas Community College. And in my Metro role, I never get to be able to say, I'm a business owner around here. But in fact, I'm a business owner around here. Our transfer station, which is right there, and you've been hearing from it, we have 190,000 customers a year that use this facility. Fully half of all the self-haul garbage delivered to a center in this region is delivered here, in the whole region. So this is a huge, huge facility for our perspective. And when people talk about economic development and jobs and the Job and Transportation Act, I think we think about, oh yeah, there's jobs in building these projects, and that's really great. And former Mayor Norris, Mayor Norris always to me, made a point of saying that it's also about building the economy of this region and of this community in particular. But it's also about the jobs that are created and protected when people can get like half of those, as I said, half the self-haul garbage people delivering here, a lot of those are small businesses. And this is the way that they continue to do their business, having access to this facility. With my other hat on the board of directors of Clackamas Community College, all of our students, or most of our students, use this road as their entry to the college. And those are people who are getting retraining from having lost their jobs at Blue Heron. Those are returning veterans who are going to the new Army Strong Center up at Clackamas Community College. That's the only facility of its kind on a college campus. So those are things that are also going to be benefited by the traffic flow improvements, the safety improvements, all the benefits that you've heard of this great project. So I'm very excited to be able to be here as a business owner, as somebody with an interest in the community college, as a Metro Councilor to see this region and this part of our community blossom. I think it's great, and I'm glad you're all here to share in it today. Thank you.
Are you all frozen yet? My name is Mary Olson. As a commissioner of the Oregon Transportation Commission and a resident of Oregon City, whose daily commute uses this route twice a day, I'm honored to be here. Oregon has been a transportation leader for nearly a century, from adopting the first gas tax in 1919 to integrating transportation and land use planning in the 1980s and the 1990s. Transportation is a vital service, allowing people to get to work, shop, visit family and friends, and explore our surroundings. The transportation system is also the foundation upon which our economy is built. It's hard to trade goods if you can't get them to market, or you can't get the supplies you need to produce the goods. We are fortunate in Oregon to have partnerships with civic and business organizations, cities, counties, regional groups like Metro, and many state agencies who are helping us shape our future transportation system. In 2006, the Oregon Transportation Commission adopted the Oregon Transportation Plan. We finally decided after so many years that maybe it would be a good idea if we actually had a plan. The key priorities in the plan are to maintain what we currently have, optimize the capacity and safety through information technology, integrate transportation, land use, economic development, and the environment. And as with this project, invest strategically in new capacity. Our legislature has also responded by passing a number of funding bills. The Oregon Transportation Act, followed by Connect Oregon, our first ever multimodal investment program for freight and transit, and the OTIA 3 Bridge Program, a 10-year, $1.6 billion investment to rebuild or repair Oregon bridges on critical freight routes. And today we see a project funded from the 2009 Jobs and Transportation Act, which funded 37 specific projects and gave 12 government entities in Eastern Oregon transportation dollars to spend as they saw fit. This project will bring significant traffic and safety improvements to one of the state's most congested corridors and one of I-205's most traveled intersections. In addition, in keeping with our environmental stewardship, 5 adjoining acres will be restored with more than 2,500 native trees and plants, providing valuable wildlife habitat. And while we are making progress on projects such as this, we all need to be mindful of the challenges before us. Aging infrastructure. In spite of our recent investments, the reality is that our existing system is aging and deteriorating. After 50 years, it's starting to fall apart as its design life approaches. No one could foresee the volume and mix of today's traffic. The cracked bridges were just the beginning. We have huge repair and replacement liabilities facing us. Demographics. We are building today for the next generation. In 30 years, Oregon's population is forecasted to reach 5.4 million people. That's 1.6 million more than live here now, a 30% increase. Our roads and highways in urban areas are at capacity now. How can we provide transportation services to another 1.6 million people? Reliance on automobile as our primary passenger vehicle is going to become problematic given the demographic forecasts. More than half the Oregonians are going to be either too young or too old to drive in the next 25 years. Funding. Revenue generated from state fuel taxes, weight mile taxes, license and registration fees are constitutionally dedicated for the use only in road and highway right-of-ways. We cannot use these revenues for non-highway purposes like transit, rail, bike, and ped pass, even if these modes are more cost-effective and in higher demand due to changing demographics. Increasingly efficient cars, and all-electric vehicles will in the future have significant impacts on state fuel taxes, our main source of revenue. But all is not lost. At the same time, we have exciting opportunities at a time of revolutionary change in vehicle technology and information technology equal to the revolutions brought by the railroads in the 1850s, automobiles in the early 1900s, and airplanes in the 1950s. Think about the rapid change we've all experienced as telecommunications and information technology converged to change the telephone into a computer held in your hand. Scholars and business leaders agree that this speed of technology change is going to transform transportation in the coming years. I hope you share my excitement about the opportunity we have as a state to once again be transportation pioneers, to show what transportation policies and investments are needed to improve our economic competitiveness, restore the environment, and build vibrant, healthy communities. Thank you.
I'll just make a couple comments because a lot of the previous speakers have covered some really important points. The first thing I want to do is reinforce what we heard from Representative Hunt. The significance of the Jobs and Transportation Act is just absolutely huge to this state. As he said, the money that has been given to local governments and ODOT came at a time when we needed it most, and we're taking those dollars and working with the private sector, giving that money to those companies to improve our transportation system, but also to help spur economic development. And so ODOT's role in that process is to figure out how we can design projects within the budgets we have, get it in the hands of the private sector as soon as we can so we can enjoy the benefit of these great projects. Today is a doubly special, or maybe 5 times as exciting as it otherwise would be, because this is now the 5th JTA project that we have under construction in the Portland area. And we're really happy to see, for those of you who know no construction projects, considering the bill was not passed that long ago, that's exceedingly fast, and we're really happy and proud to be a part of that. So thank you very much to the legislators who supported that important bill. As it's also been said, these projects take just an incredible amount of work. The city, the consultants that have been involved, my staff at ODOT, and those of you who are there, if you could raise your hand just so people can see you. We have a lot of people here who have been part of this project. A lot of hours of work go in to pull off a project such as this one. The other point I want to make today is that looking back over the past year, there's been a lot of great things happening in Oregon City, and I'm happy that ODOT's been a part of that. We've completed work on the Willamette Terrace and John Storm Park dedication, the Warner Milne Road project, the McLaughlin Promenade, historic restoration, and just recently we held an event on the Arch Bridge, which was going to be a very solemn event because it was going to be the last walk on the bridge for a while. It turned into a 1,000-person celebration about the history, both the history of the bridge and this area, but also about what's coming, which is a complete revitalization of Oregon City. So we're extremely happy and proud to be part of that. Congratulations to everybody here and in Oregon City, and we look forward to doing more projects in the future. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Allison with Congressman Schrader's office. Congressman Schrader is sorry that he can't be here today, but he asked me to read a letter on his behalf. Dear Mayor Neely, I am writing to congratulate the City of Oregon and the State of Oregon on today's groundbreaking for the Highway 213 Jughandle project. I am sorry I am unable to join you for this event in person, but votes have kept me in Washington, D.C. I am pleased that the federal government has been able to partner with the State of Oregon and the City of Oregon City on this important project that will improve the flow of traffic in the area and create or directly benefit over 100 jobs. Investing in infrastructure improvements like this creates jobs and opens up new opportunities for economic development by improving the transportation connectivity of the region. Anyone who lives or works in the area knows that the Highway 213 I-205 interchange is one of regional significance, connecting Oregon City and the Southeast Metro region with outlying communities from Beaver Creek to Silverton and Mount Angel. This is one of the busiest and most congested interchanges on the I-205 corridor, and it isn't designed to handle its current capacity, much less future growth. The Jughandle project will make much-needed improvements that will help the region accommodate the next 20 years of growth, and I look forward to watching it develop. It is a privilege to serve you in the United States Congress. Sincerely, Kurt Trader.
Well, last but not least, I don't have anything political to say. What I'm here to do is to celebrate all of the planners, engineers, landscape architects, and construction workers who are really at the heart of making this project happen. We totally appreciate the funding from the state and believe that it's not only going to create this great transportation project, but also it's keeping a lot of people employed. As you'll see in your program, there are multiple consultant firms, design firms, contractors, subcontractors that are being employed by this $22 million project. It's huge. So first of all, I'd like to put a shout out to our new city manager, David Frazier, who is going to... He's the guy that's going to be taking all the calls once this construction starts. We changed our voicemails, David. Getting on with it, there was a lot that went into the design and preparation for this project, and I want to recognize where it starts is with the right-of-way acquisitions. We really want to thank the Metro Council and the Metro staff who were fabulous to work with in acquiring a piece of the transfer station over there. In order to get our Jughandle built, we needed to take over a piece of that government property, and they were fabulous to work with. Staff Paul Ieringer and Rob Smoot deserve a special round of applause. And then we also had right-of-way acquisitions with the Stein Oil Company. They're on the other side of Highway 213, and the Union Pacific Railroad. Let's just say that Bob Stein and Sue Stein were a lot easier to work with than Union Pacific Railroad. And the talent that made those right-of-way acquisitions successful without ending in the courtroom were our city attorney, Cynthia Frazier, and Universal Field Services. All of those legal things are so important, and we ended up in a really good position on those right-of-way acquisitions. Of course, no project is a project without the design, and OBEC Consulting Engineers and Kittleson Associates really have just done an outstanding job. And I will say that Hermanus Stein is responsible for the name the Jughandle. Thank you, Hermanus. Now, we started working on this project 4 years ago around a big table at ODOT trying to figure out what in the world are we going to do here. And I have to really give credit to the Kittleson engineers, some outstanding brains in that group that had, I think, about 11 alternatives, and we settled on this one, which was clearly the most efficient and cost-effective of all of them, and best for the environment. I also want to recognize John Calvelage with OBEC Consulting Engineers. He was our project manager during design, and he was the guy that really was able to bring us all together and to make sure every single one of those design details met both the City of Oregon cities and ODOT standards and specifications. There's so many design consultants, I'm not going to mention all your names, but I will say that they are listed in the program, and take a look at those companies. There's some really fabulous talent that's represented by those consultants. I want to give another super shout out to the ODOT and FHWA. I would really like if you guys would stand. These designers at ODOT were so helpful in making sure that every doggone thing was going to work, and
Come on, guys. There's more there. There's more here. I know there. And FHWA. Anyway, just down to the size of the bolt on some bridge sign. I mean, there are so many details, and our designers do a fabulous job, and then we get fabulous QA/QC from ODOT, and want to really thank you guys. Tough kind of getting through some of those details, but I think we had a fabulous project team, and we met our deadlines, which times were scary, and we came in with our bids under budget. And of course, we're going to finish the project under budget as well. A special shout out to Tom Weatherford as well. He is our local agency liaison, and Tom is, he's the guy that makes sure that he keeps the city in line, he keeps ODOT in line, and makes sure everything is done so that we have the right records behind us. The other folks that may not be here are the Salem staff that also were very helpful in a lot of the design details. I really, I kind of, the mayor embarrassed me with mentioning my name so many times in her speech, but the person that really has made this project come together is Alita Froman Goodrich. She's our city project manager. And as everybody that works with her knows, she is fabulous, and she's extremely detail-oriented, and she's the kind of person that gets the job done and keeps everybody smiling in the process. So, now we get to the construction. We are very, very fortunate to have Mohawk Construction Company, some of which are standing in the back. And where's Jeff Holliday? There's Jeff. Jeff is going to be the city's best friend through this project. He's their project manager, and I know that Jeff's going to just do a super job and be great to work with through what will it be a normal project, which has many tough times, but we've already had some great meetings, and I think things are going to go really smoothly. OBEC Consulting Engineers will continue to be the engineer in charge of construction inspection and administration. And then I also want to recognize Mason, Bruce, and Gerard back there. They are in charge of our public involvement, and not only that, but they did all the environmental work on the project. So that's going to be a huge piece. The public involvement is really important on this project, because anytime you start constructing on a state highway like Oregon 213, right at the interchange with I-205, you know you're going to have a lot of people that know what's going on, and hopefully a lot of people that aren't really upset. But so please be patient with us. We want to make it as smooth of a project as possible, but there will be times when you may be sitting in traffic. So realize that we're doing our best. I want to thank the Planning Commission, who worked through some tough details on our land use applications. The Oregon City Transportation Advisory Committee, of which we have several members here. Raise your hands. There you are. Where's Betty? And our Citizen Involvement Council was also helpful in supporting the project as it moved forward. This event was brought to you by a fabulous Oregon City team: Laura Turway, Alita Froman Goodrich, Jason Frazier, and Eric Wargren. Could you please raise your hands? Yay, Jason! And I also want to thank all the rest of the staff, the department heads, that just support us all through these kinds of projects. And when you're working on these things, it's so helpful to have so many people behind you, smiling, congratulating, saying keep at it, don't give up. And so I want to thank the staff at Oregon City and Public Works Department. And we're going to get her done with these trucks right here.
Thank you. Thank you all for speaking. I wanted to comment that I couldn't, when the Jughandle first term came up, and I couldn't remember, and I think I was speaking to Phil Worth of Kittleson Construction, and I referred to it as the Jawbone Project. And so, anyway, I did want to, we mentioned the $22 million, that we got from the Oregon Jobs and Transportation Act. We have $2.5 million that was from the U.S. Congress Safety T-Loop program, and $2.3 million that was from city funds, including the the system development charges. What I was trying to think of, system development charges, and also from the county's Red Soils Master's Plan traffic mitigation. We also had some of the preliminary engineering was done by Senator Cal, who were negotiating a draft agreement in terms of the development of the landfill site here. I also want to mention one other fact before I have some finishing comments. The Arch Bridge closure was mentioned, but we've been able to secure, thanks to ODOT, I think about $2.5 million worth of funds for the improvement of Main Street that will be happening during the same period of time. It's going to be improving both pedestrian and bicycle access, but it's also going to be converting that part of Main Street that's one-way back into a two-way street and improving parking structures doing it. So there's many things occurring in Oregon City at this time, and I want to thank ODOT very much for that effort. We're going to have a Meet the Contractor meeting coming up. It's an open house on Monday, May 23rd from 4 to 6:30 at City Hall. I welcome you all to come there and meet the contractor. We are continuously updating our website, www.jughandleproject.com. Check on that periodically. And our information boards are very good. In fact, I think I probably learned more about the Jughandle project in 10 minutes I was over there than I did before. So there's some real good diagrams of how it's going to function. I want you to grab refreshments. I want to mention that we've got some cupcakes there made by one of the bakeries on Main Street. We've got also a juice that has been donated by the grocery outlet there. We've got some plants, some free plants you can take that's provided by Smith Garden. I also want to thank very much the Home Depot for hosting this event. So join us for refreshments after the groundbreaking. Please join us for refreshments and music with the Quartet Barbette, who will be playing music for about 45 minutes. So let the construction begin, and thank you all for coming.